and welcome to this India Today special, where I'm joined by one of my newsmakers tonight, the AIMIM MP and party president, Asaduddin Owaisi, who is one of only 2 MPs who actually voted against the women's reservation bill in the Lok Sabha. He and his colleague Imtiaz Jaleel. Asaduddin Owaisi, only 2 of you voted against the women's reservation bill. You will be therefore pitched as anti-women with a regressive patriarchal mindset. Everyone else voted for a bill, only the 2 of you voted against it. Is that something you're comfortable with?
Yeah, we are comfortable with, but what you have said is regressive, anti-women. No. This bill itself is anti-woman. This bill is itself anti-OBC women, anti-Muslim women. It is what I call a check-bounce bill. It is a distraction bill. It is a selective affirmation and in the form of election stunt.
It is the first step towards empowering women.
No, it is not. It is not. You are creating more opportunities for those section of women who are already in the parliament. Mr. Modi does not want an inclusive women parliament, but he wants a parliament which is full of Savarna women. Had it not been that case, he would have included the sub-quota for OBC women.
No, you are opening a Pandora's box. Now, there is already, if there is a quota for women, you are saying there should be a sub-quota for Muslim women and OBC women.
If you
what stops anyone from giving tickets to OBC women, Muslim women? I don't need reservations within a reservation.
Then why do you need a law then? The same thing can be said. Why do you need a law?
Yes, because political parties like yours, Asaduddin Owaisi, have not given women enough representation.
Not at all.
Not a single MLA has ever come through the AIMIM.
Forget about it. This bill was being, the justification for bringing this bill was to ensure that you have more women in the legislatures, yes. Right? Now, how can you deny OBC community, who are 50% of the population, more than 50%? And do you know how many OBC MPs are there right now in Lok Sabha? 22% only. How many upper caste? 232. So that is why I say Mr. Modi wants more Savarna women in the Indian parliament legislatures. If it was an inclusive bill, how can you deny the OBC community women? How can you deny the Muslim women?
I'll tell you why. Because the fact is, Asaduddin Owaisi, in a 543-member parliament, at the moment, there are only 82 women. So you have virtually a very small percentage of women. Women are 50% of the population. They're not 50% in the Lok Sabha or any of the assemblies. This is a first step towards that. And if OBCs or Muslim women are being discriminated against, not being given enough representation, give them tickets. You see, the fact
hold on.
You are creating a red herring to prevent the bill from coming through.
Not at all, not at all. If that is the case, what you say, if you believe what you have just told me, why do you need a legislation? You would have said, okay, every party should give such percentage to women.
Yes, that would be the ideal situation.
But the government has given a justification for bringing this bill is to have more women MPs in the parliament, yes, and in the legislature.
Yes.
My argument is, how can you deny 50% of the population which belongs to OBCs? How can you deny the Muslim community out of 690 MPs who have so far been elected till the 17th Lok Sabha? You know how many Muslim women got elected? 25. Why? Why is that case? There are many reasons for that. And I feel that this legislation will lead to, if it is passed, and it becomes, whenever it becomes law, God knows when will that happen, it will decrease the numbers of OBC women MPs or the OBC MPs in general.
No, how? Mr. Asaduddin, 1 minute, sir. You are... let me tell you what your argument means. Tomorrow you will say there should be reservation for OBC men also, that there should be reservation for OBCs in parliament.
Why not?
Tomorrow you will say there should be reservation for Muslims in parliament.
Why not?
Because we were very clear in the constitution. No. In 1950, religious-based reservations were not part of the constitution. If you are today now asking for OBC reservations, effectively you are telling me that parliament also should become all about reservations. It's a very dangerous track.
No. So from your question, 2 things come out. You say 1950 we decided. You're wrong. In the 1950 presidential order clearly says that only a Hindu and a Sikh and a Buddhist can be a Dalit. So that 1950 presidential order is based on religion. Secondly, you talk about OBCs, right? What is your argument? Your argument is wrong. 27% reservation is being given to them in education and employment.
Yes.
Why can't that be given in the legislatures? Why not? I see, when you are making it an inclusive parliament, and our forefathers had given us this dream that this will be a participative form of democracy. How participative it is? And if you have, see, 232 upper caste MPs are being elected, and 120 are OBC MPs, 22%. How do you empower them?
I'll tell you what has happened. In the first Lok Sabha...
And lastly, in 1 minute, let me complete. When the constitution was being made, the advisory committee on minorities, that is where I said this in the parliament, that I say it again, that Nehru and Patel are responsible for the low representation of Muslims in the parliament and assembly. You read those constitutional assembly debates. Please read those advisory committee reports. You'll form your opinion.
No, 1 minute. The fact, Asaduddin Owaisi, is that in the first Lok Sabha, if you look at OBC population of MPs was less than 10%. Today it's well above 20%. The Prime Minister is an OBC. There are 29 OBC ministers by an organic process.
How many upper caste?
What?
How many upper caste ministers are there?
Upper caste are disproportionate to their population.
Exactly.
So
why?
Why? You're basically saying that give every community reservation as per their population.
No.
Effectively, that's what you're saying.
This reservation which me and you are talking about is women are concerned.
Yes.
Why don't you give it to OBC women? What is stopping you? And they're not represented in the August House. They're not represented in the state legislatures. And when the Prime Minister himself is an OBC, how can the Prime Minister deny the OBC community? When he takes pride in being an OBC, the BJP never leaves any stone unturned in shouting from rooftops, from different nooks and corners that we have an OBC Prime Minister. Why are you not doing justice to them?
Mr. Asaduddin Owaisi, you are calling for reservation for Muslim women within the quota.
Yes.
You are running a party where you have not given enough Muslim women representation. That is true.
No, you're wrong.
You've not had a single Muslim woman MLA from Hyderabad in all these years that your party has been there. Yes or no? Factually, am I right or wrong?
Let me answer. We have given tickets to Muslim women who have contested assembly and parliament elections.
Less than 5%. None of them has been elected.
Rajdeep, listen to me. We have Muslim women corporators, not only in Telangana, but in Maharashtra, in Maharashtra, in Madhya Pradesh, in Uttar Pradesh, we have Muslim women corporators. Now, that is the reason we are saying, give them an opportunity in the parliament and state legislatures, let them come. See, why you are giving a justification for bringing a law that women are not being represented. Why are you denying this? And it is, please accept or not, with the uprise in the Hindu majoritarian nationalism, and the consolidation of the Hindu vote by BJP, is it good for our democracies that Muslims will be politically isolated?
You're mixing issues, Mr. Owaisi. You are now mixing the issue of religious-based reservation, which is contentious, with a long-standing battle that women have had for greater representation in parliament and assemblies.
Not at all. I am saying what we have been saying for a long time. If you are talking about religion-based reservation, what is the 1950 presidential order? What is that? But it's based on religion.
But is it not interesting that many of the Mandalite parties also, Samajwadi Party, RJD, JDU, parties which 20 years ago were calling for what you are calling today a quota within a quota, OBC reservation, today they also have fallen in line with this bill. So they are realizing there's a Mahila vote bank that cuts across castes and classes. Why don't you recognize that there is a Mahila vote bank out there?
As far as the vote bank is concerned, there is only a majority community vote bank, and which Narendra Modi has created for himself. That is what the whole...
And you have created a minority vote bank for yourself.
If that was the case, I would have had 10-15 MPs in the parliament. If that was the case, I would have more MLAs everywhere. That is not the case. That is not the case at all. In the politics which is being used by Mr. Narendra Modi is that, number one, he has destroyed this myth of Muslim vote bank, that there was never a Muslim vote bank in India. Whether from 1952 onwards, it's always a Hindu vote bank. And the real fight now is for the Hindu vote bank. And when the Prime Minister takes pride, when Amit Shah stood up yesterday and said, oh, Mr. Modi is OBC, why can't you give it to OBCs then?
Asaduddin Owaisi, the Prime Minister is saying this is a game changer, a political game changer that will bring in Nari, Shakti in the truest vote bank, and many believe that it could strengthen the BJP's Mahila vote bank in the 2024 elections.
Well, the Prime Minister must answer the nation that the female workforce participation declined from 30 to 19% when he was a Prime Minister. The Prime Minister should tell the nation that 63 million women are missing. The Prime Minister should tell the nation that between 2017 and 22, 22 million women disappeared from the workforce. Who is responsible? And the Prime Minister talks about Vandana. What Vandana is this when you release the rapist of Bilqis Bano? Is that a Vandana for women? What Vandana is this? Isn't Bilqis Bano the daughter of this nation? It is the BJP government who has released the rapist. So where is this woman empowerment happening?
You're not worried that you will fall into the stereotype, the typical stereotype of the Muslim male who will simply not allow the woman into public life?
Well, I see, I cannot change some people's madness. The reality is different. People know the reality. The unfortunate part is that...
You are a male-dominated party.
No. Listen to me. The unfortunate part is that whenever you see a Muslim, you and other people believe, you create a stereotype image. Oh, you don't allow women to come out. Mr. Rajiv, do you know who created the first university in this world? Please tell me. Do you know?
My general knowledge is being tested by Mr. Owaisi.
Yes, it was a Muslim woman who did it in Morocco. And do you know, when you graduate and you wear that four-cornered cap on your head, you went to Oxford. What does that? That signifies the Quran. That is what the Muslims have given to the world.
Yes, but there is a stereotype that will be there that Asaduddin Owaisi wants to keep the Muslim woman behind the veil, doesn't want her to come out in public. No, that will be the stereotype.
Not at all.
You're conforming to that narrative by voting against this bill.
A woman wearing hijab got a Nobel Prize from Yemen. There are immense contribution in every field, in technology, in biomedicine, pharmaceutical, everywhere. You have Muslim women wearing hijab and niqab doing their best to improve the humanity. Hijab does not stop the Muslim woman. It is the people in power who do not want to empower the Muslim woman. They want to create selective legislation whereby they deprive the weaker and the poor sections. You are creating such laws. That is the problem.
So my final question to you is simply this, that a bill has been created which is a major step towards empowering women. 50% of our population in all assemblies have had less than 15% representation. It's correcting a certain imbalance. Do you agree that you are in that sense a step behind the times? When 452 people vote in one way and only 2 vote in the other, it would seem to me you are a step behind the times.
Not at all. This is the beauty of our democracy. When history will be written, it will be said that there are 2 MPs who stood up for OBC women and who stood up asking for a quota for OBC women and for Muslim women. Who cares? That is the rules of the parliament which allows me to ask for a division. It is the constitution and the rules and procedures which allows me to ask for a division. I did that. I don't want history to remember me for ensuring that BJP carried on with the Hindutva agenda and all the secular parties succumbed to them. They will be answerable to history, not me.
Asaduddin Owaisi, as always, for speaking your mind out. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.